Yeah, occasionally we've had runaways. European Open and UK Open being prime examples, but far and away, the overwhelming majority of finals have been either tight, intense, or absolute classics. One of my personal favourites was when David Alcaide beat Anton Raga in the European Open.
Yeah, that went the distance as well, 13-12 to the Matador. I remember that shot that Raga had. He tried to play it off a ball into the side, and it was one of them where you're behind it, it kind of looks unmissable, but he missed it.
I don't want to criticise Shane van Boening because it's easy to do considering he's, by his standards, struggling, but he has missed judge quite a few banks.
I'll tell you another final that's just sprung to mind. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Phil, because it's been a long night. It's early in the morning here in Atlantic City. I've been a busy man. Dang Jin against Bijsterbosch.
Dang Junhu against Mark Bijsterbosch. Yeah, that went also all the way. That was in Lugo in Spain in the summer of 2023.
And it was the way Dang played. You remember the last few racks, he was just running around the table. Last year's US Open final, Ghost against SVB. That had a lot of drama. Is he going off the top rail or can he flick there? He's going off the top rail. Got to hit a rail, which he does. After contact, that is, unless you pot a ball. What's he left? Chang's going to run the cue ball off, I believe. Or he could stun in to the red 3, leave the cue ball on the back rail, and then the 3 goes up table. Filler he's just a man on a mission. It's 6-1. He's got 2 balls left for 7-1.
The guy is absolutely awesome.
Double J, he's doing his best to avoid some graft here, Phil. He's 4-3 up.
Here's Filler. If he were to miss one of those 9 balls, I think there would be questions in the house. Yeah. Jeremy Jones actually was gentlemanly enough to thank me this morning for my efforts in the commentary box to cover for him while he's out there playing. We wish him all the best.
Well, he's not thanked me. Cheers, JJ.
Well, I did 4 matches yesterday, you did 2, that's why he thanked me.
Who's counting, Phil? Who's counting?
You are. You are, don't worry about that. But here, the count is very much against Chang Yi, and it might get a little worse after this.
Yeah, to be fair, Jeremy did buy me a cold one last night, so that'll do. That's the only thanks I need.
I had a cold one of my own last night. Carla, an ice cream sandwich. It was very nice indeed. Two chocolate chip cookies around a vanilla centre, and then I had a box of junior mints afterwards.
Yeah, it's showing, Phil. Definitely showing.
Oh, it's been showing for a decade or more now. I think when it comes to the word fat, we can insert it in fat chance from here for Chang Yi, the way he's playing. He's 6-1 down. Shane van Boening not firing on all cylinders, but I think he's going to avoid this banana skin. He's 2 racks away from taking on BJ Ussery at 1 o'clock in the next losers round. Former US Mosconi Cup player Chris Reinhold finds himself 2-1 up on Yash Ashmira. Oscar Dominguez, another player who's represented the United States in the Mosconi. He's 2-0 up on Ramazan Akdag. Wu Kun Lin, who's been to the semi-final of the World 9-Ball Championship, has a 3-1 lead over Claudio Cacciu, who is in the semi-finals of this year's World 9-Ball Championship. Moritz Neuhausen, good comeback that. He was 3-0 down in no time to Konrad Yuzhushin. Now, though, he's 4-3 up, and confirmation there that Joshua Filler leads Roberto Gomez 7-1. Working on the premise, it's a big day for Shane van Boening. He will want to win this one as quickly and as stress-free as possible. Oh, and that helps. The old golden break.
Yep, that's a win. If you break and make the 9, counts as a rack. Shane van Boening has had his fair share, let me tell you.
Whenever I think about golden breaks and Shane van Boening, I always recall that World Masters final he played against Darren Appleton. He won easily. He definitely had 2 golden breaks. Something is telling me he had 3. Here, though, that's taken him to the hill.
Over on table 2, Earl the Pearl is in action. He's in the same boat as Van Boening. In many ways, he's in the loser's side of the draw. They both lost a match, but they both won 5 US Opens over the years.
Another notable scoreline to give you in winners' qualification. Bernie Regalario, 6-1 up on Torsten Homan. He is a coming force on the World 9-Ball Tour, young Bernie. Chang Yi, who was a semi-finalist at the Battle of the Bull, and before that at the Florida Open, now in front against Hayato Ishikata at 4-3. Well, no golden break this time. The 2 was nudged in. Obviously the 1 found the side, but the 3 doesn't look all that favourable.
Yeah, I think he's going to be running the cue ball. He tried to play the combo.
That was the kind of shot you play when you're 7-1 up in a race to 8. A little bit ambitious even for him.
The old man is tired. He needs sleep. Been on the road for months. This is what these pool players do. Butchered. That's what we call that. He's butchered it.
News of the World 9-Ball champion Carlo Biardo. Well, after falling 3-2 down to Luong Doktien, he's now 5-3 in front. On table 2, the unmistakable figure of Earl Strickland.
We don't know how many years Earl the Pearl's got left. 64 and still competing. Yeah, it's tough for him to win titles, of course it is. It's becoming a young man's sport. The players are getting younger and younger, but we've just got to enjoy Earl while he's still on the pool table. Still giving players nightmares. 4-4 against Schneider. Schneider's kicking at a blue 2. And I'll tell you what, Phil, as I've just said, I know he doesn't win tournaments, but he can still play Earl, can't he? He can still play at a level.
definitely. Sometimes I think he talks himself out of it. When he's focused and up for it, I think, yeah, he can beat anyone. There, you have to say that cue ball might have deviated a little.
Yeah, it's always dangerous when you're rolling the balls, though.
News from table 4, Roberto Gomez has stopped the rot temporarily. Joshua Filler's lead 7-2.
Yeah, back to the main table. SVB has got a sniff here. He can pot this ball, which he does. Okay, opportunity for the match. He needs 3 wins on the left side. This will be the first of 3. What will be interesting, Phil, is if he wins his next match, who does he cop for in losers qualification? Because he'll play a player that lost in the winners qualification match. That is going to be very intriguing if he gets there, of course.
Well, we know who we will play next. In just over an hour's time, it's scheduled. The Shane van Boening will take on BJ Ussery.
Yeah, fellow American. So that could cause a few hiccups if Shane doesn't book his ideas up. It's not been a terrible performance, don't get me wrong, but just a few shots here and there, a little bit loose.
There was a momentary blip in the middle of the match when he missed the 6th ball in rack 5. Generally, though, that was no sweat. Shane van Boening defeating Chang Yi 8-1. He's back in action in just over an hour's time.